Okay, Shalom, Shalom. It's the brother Mawasar,
Shalom, Mr. Brother Shemawal.
right? And today, like you see in the title, we're going into patience the second time, right? Because this is a very important thing, man. It's, growing up, I don't know if anybody else heard this, but this is something I used to hear. Patience is a virtue. They used to say that all the time. But the thing about the people in the world is they don't know what true patience is. Like anybody who can speak English can give you the definition of patience, but how many people actually know what it takes to be patient? You feel what I'm saying? Like for me personally, besides the Most High, it's hard for me to really find examples of patience. Just think, right? When it comes to us being the Israelites, the people who watch this video, if you don't know, you should know that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites, right? When it comes to us, we have been going against the Most High since the beginning. You even got Moses when the Most High was trying to get him to go and talk to the Pharaoh. He like, oh, I don't know if I'm good enough. I'm not that good of a speaker. You know, maybe you should pick some God. Why you picking me? It's all of these different things, right? And the Most High has been patient with us that whole time. Because if you read that account about Moses, the Most High didn't strike him down. The Most High didn't judge him. The Most High was patient with him. He sent his brother Aaron to come help him. You got different accounts. You got David being patient in the Bible. We all heard about Job, him being patient. If you want to talk about patience as a man, look at David and Job. How many people like David can run for their life? You can have your enemy literally by the garment. He had his enemy by the garment. And yet and still he was like, you know what? I can't even do it because that's the Lord's anointed. Even in his time where he could have satisfied his flesh, he was like, nah, I'm gonna just wait to see what the Lord do to him, man. I ain't even gonna do him. Right? The key word for today is not even patience. The key word today is wait. How many people can wait? Not you 200 pounds. I'm talking about how many people can wait on the result. How many people can sit there and be like, okay, you know, you got these people, they get these college degrees, right? And they understand, okay, I'm going to college in 2025. I'm not going to get nothing out of this until at least 2029. They understand that. But people come in the truth and they expect for the Lord to bring the kingdom of heaven in 6 months after they came in the truth. You know, you just start teaching your rib a month ago and you expect her to be Sarah reincarnated in the flesh because you don't have no patience. Now let's get into some scriptures, right? Let's really get into this thing. I want to get First Corinthians. I want to see what did Paul say because a lot of you Christians, man, y'all be having these wet dreams about Paul. So let's get into that. It's First Corinthians chapter 3 and verse where I want to start, man. This whole thing is whew. Let's start at verse 5. First Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 5. It says, "Who then is Paul, and who is Apollos, but ministers by whom ye believed, even as the Lord gave to every man." So you got Paul acknowledging that he and Apollos are just men that the Lord gave. What did he say? That the Lord gave to be ministers. They're ministers of the Most High. He understood, hey, yeah, I can bring it out. Yeah, I'm Paul, but I'm only this because of the Most High. Let's keep reading. It says, verse 6, "I have planted, Apollos water, but God gave the increase." So, so then neither is he that planteth anything, neither he that watereth, but God that giveth the increase. So we got to understand when you water a seed, anybody who's ever planted something before, I don't care what kind of seed it is, you're not getting the fruit from that seed 60 minutes from after you plant it. It's not going to happen. Hey, if you look up how long it takes for a mango tree to fully age, it's going to tell you 4 to 5 years. Imagine if the Lord looked at you as a mango tree, but yet and still, you'd have been in the truth 4, 5 months, and you trying to be on the level of brothers who've been in the truth 20 years. It just does not work like that. It don't work like that. You got to have patience. You have to be patient. Let's get back into this count. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 3, and then you got it after this. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, let's continue on. I'm going to read verse 7, and I'm going to continue down at verse 8. So then neither is he that planteth anything. Meaning, Paul, not only did he acknowledge that he was the one who was planting before, he said it's not about me planting. He understood that. What me and this brother Shamal all understand is that without the Most High watering the seed that we are planting in y'all right now, it don't matter. Guess what? I could bring it out as mighty as I want to. I don't care how good of a teacher I am. I could sit here and pop it to you. I could sit, man, and the Lord said this, and God said that, like the pastors do. But guess what? If the Lord don't water that seed in you, everything I'm saying is going to naught. It's worthless. So with that being said, if the only way that a seed can be watered is by the Most High, you got to wait on that, because he don't have to give it to you when you want it. He don't have to. Hey, Joshua had to sit in prison for how long before the Lord put him in that position, right under the Pharaoh? How many people can go through that? Sit down for 2 years. Hey, Jake sit down for 2 months. You ain't had a job. You ain't had a woman for 2 months. Jake lose his mind, man. He out the truth. Hey, the Lord ain't real. Let him tell it. The truth was a lie. He done threw his fringes. You feel what I'm saying? Let me get this last precept, and then you got it. All right. I promise you, this is my last precept, and you got it. It's Sirach chapter 1. Y'all know I'm going to Sirach. You got to. You just got to know. All right. It's Sirach chapter 1 in verse, what I want. I think it's verse 23. Verse 23. A patient, let me start at verse 22 so y'all can really get the context of this verse. This is Sirach chapter 1 and verse 22. A furious man cannot be justified, for the sway of his fury shall be his destruction. Verse 23. A patient man will bear for a time, and afterward joy shall spring up unto him. So the Bible is literally telling you that a man who just move off how you feeling, a man who he get pissed off and he moved off of him being pissed off, he's going to be destroyed by his own anger. Right? He's going to be destroyed by his own fury. But the patient man, he's going to wait a second. Hold on. Patient man going to step back like, give me, I'm going to give this situation 15 minutes. Hey, brother just stepped on my shoe. He ain't apologized. I'm going to give myself 5 minutes to really think about this before I act out. That's what a patient man is going to do. I'm going to read that verse again. It's Sirach chapter 1 and verse number 23. Please take heed to this, people. A patient man will bear for a time, and afterward joy shall spring unto him. You don't get the joy of being patient while you're being patient. You know what patience feels like? It feels like suffering. Hey, for all the brothers out there who ain't married, how does it feel that you got to be patient for the Lord to give you a wife? How does that feel? Does it feel great? Oh, God, I get to be patient today and wait for the Lord. Come on now, be for real. Or does it feel like, come on, Lord, I mean, what we doing? Like, Lord, I've been fasting. Lord, I've been praying. Come on, I know you got a red for me, Lord. You feel what I'm saying? But it said a patient man will bear for a time. And they don't say how long that time is. Hey, how long did Tobit wait to get his eyes healed? I'm going to let y'all figure that out. But you got it out.
Come, brother, bringing it out mighty, man. Right, patience is key. You gotta wait, and when you wait, obviously it don't feel good. Like the brother bringing out, you damn waiting in line. You waiting to get built up. It take patience for you to build yourself up. relationships, friendships, and marriages, that business that you wanted to grow. It take patience, right? This Hebrews chapter 6, verse 12, it says that ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises. It said, but followers of them. Who is the them? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Jacob was very patient. And Lord willing, we're going to get to that. Jacob was very patient. He served, he served Laban for 14 years. 14 years. He lost sleep. Laban kept changing his wages. That took patience for him to be able to be exalted. He waited on the Lord. And he had faith in the Lord for him to even obtain that patience. Because 14 years, I mean, yes, Jacob stated it, but we might as well get to it. We can't just talk about it. Let's bring it out. All right. There's Genesis chapter 31. All right. Genesis chapter 31, I'll start at 37. It says, whereas thou hast searched all my stuff, what hast thou found of all thy household stuff? I sit here before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge betwixt us both. So Laban, Jacob went to go leave because he wanted to go, he seen the countenance of Laban. It wasn't the same no more. He seen that spirit on him. It changed. So, they end up leaving. And Laban, hey, where you going? Right? Let's jump up to verse 30. It says, and now, though thou wouldest needs be gone, because thou sore longest after thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? So he had damn idols, which Rachel took that he didn't know. So he searched all the stuff, couldn't find it in Rachel's, belongings. She was crafty, but he found nothing in Jacob's belongings. And you see, he didn't have them. So this is why Jacob's speaking the way he speak. He's upset right now. Verse 38. Right, we're gonna jump down to verse 38. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy eels and thy she-goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flock have I not eaten. He's not boasting, but he explaining about the works that he done for him, and the fact that he think he stole it, which is off. You'll feel the same way, brother. You did so much for a brother. You took care of a brother, so on and so forth, and he think like you did something to him. And you like, what's going on? Verse 39, it says that which was torn of beasts I brought not unto thee. I bear the loss of it. Of my hand didst thou require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. When he said I bear the loss of it, meaning that, hey, whatever was damaged, he had to pay cost of it. They came out of his hand. So whatever that was torn and jammed up, he had to come out of pocket. That came out of pocket. He had to bear the loss of it. It says whether stolen by day or stolen by night. So whatever that was stolen by night, stolen by day, that's out of his pocket. Cattle is worth money in the ancient world, man. So you never know, you would not know how much he lost. Working for Laban, how much he lost. Right, verse 40. Thus I was in the day, right? In the day the drought consumed me, right? In the frost by night, and my sleep departed from my eyes. So he had to come out of pocket with things that was torn, right? Because he had to pay the cost, right? And he was working a day and night, man. He lost sleep. 14 years, right? The point. Thus have I been 20 years in thy house. I served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle. And thou hast changed my wages 10 times. How much patience you have if Esau, you working at a job and Esau changed your wages 10 times? How much patience would you have? Would you flip out and say he gonna air him out? Jay like to say that. I'm gonna air him out, G. I gotta air him out. What you mean air him out? You need some air, brother, right? This all of the Lord is trying your patience. Not saying you just take BS, because Jacob didn't take BS, but Jacob had patience. He continued in his righteousness. He did the work without complaining because he knew the Lord was gonna fight for him. For you to even have patience, you know that the Lord is gonna fight for you. That's faith. That's confidence, right? 14 years. He changed his wages 10 times. Jake, how would you feel if Esau changed your wages 10 times? If this was your brother that changed your ways 10 times, you would have already want to fight. You would already want to fight. He got your shoes. He changed your shoes, right? You bought some brand new shoes. Y'all end up getting the same shoes. His are just a little beat up. Yours a little brand new, and he switch them. He switch them. And you tell him like, yo, can you stop playing? Yo, you playing too much. Yo, bring it back. And he said, all right, I'll bring it back. It's been a whole month. But he ain't even put it on. He just played too much. How much patience you gonna have? He played too much. How much patience you gonna have? Are you just gonna flip out over shoes? Right? So we gotta have patience, man. That them is our forefathers. Jacob had patience for 14 years. Right? More than that. 6 years on top of that, serving his cattle. Right? He changed his ways just 10 times, man. I mean, how that's a lot of you could feel that spirit in your chest. It get real heavy. Your flesh get hot because spirits start to try you, man. Right? Let's get that First Thessalonians. Let's go to First Thessalonians, man. Right? This First Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 3. It says that no man should be moved by these afflictions. Right? Because ultimately the things that we go through is nothing but afflictions that we are appointed to. Right? The Lord said, don't be moved by these things, because the affliction that you in is to build you up. It's to purge you out of your the old man deeds, man. Because once upon a time, you didn't have patience, right? Like we all know, and we said before, Jake and Eve always say they don't have no patience. They don't have no tolerance. Well, the Lord put you in certain situations so you can build that up. You can't get that over time. You can't get that overnight. Right? It says that no man should be moved by these afflictions. For yourselves know that we are appointed thereunto. So you're appointed for these things. There's gonna be a time your job messing with your check. It's gonna be a time your rib she got a demon on her. She may not even have a demon on her. She may just be emotional. Are you gonna have patience with her? You know that one of her family members passed away that she was close to. Why are you being impatient and upset just because she's emotional and she's not operating how you want her to operate? That's be considerate, be patient, praise towards the Lord that she able to get over this death or whatever that may be in her life, and next thing you know, she'll be able to cope with that. But you got, why you ain't cooking? But brother, her mama just passed away. It only been 2 weeks. Her mama wasn't wicked. She was she was actually being a mother towards her. So obviously she's gonna feel some type of way. It was her best friend. You mad because she ain't cook and clean? Why you don't you know how to cook and clean? Why don't you do it for the time? That's your wife, brother. That's off. She forget a precept? Why you not having patience with her, brother? Just because she forget it, brother. You know how many precepts you forgot that you could have taught the sheep and you forgot it? She forget a precept. You see, Sarah don't forget precepts. Judith, she would have remembered that. That's off. That's madness. That's madness, man. So we are appointed for these things, right? So for you to even attain that patience, that weight, that righteous, fruit, hey, you gotta being put in situations so you be able to bear that fruit. Right? I got one more precept. Right. We can go to Sirach. I really got it. That's off, man. Brothers not really having patience with their wives. You know, wives not having patience with their husbands, not having patience with their kids. It's madness, man. Brothers not having patience with themselves. Just want to know everything, right? Instead of not knowing the Lord, not knowing how to love the Lord, but instead you want to know these deep, dark parables, right? This Exodus, not Exodus, but Sirach chapter 2 and verse, I start at 12. It says, woe be to the fearful hearts and faint hands and the sinner that goeth two ways, right? Hey, for you to not have patience, you having faint hands. You deny the Lord's coming, you have faint hands, man. You tired of laboring. Who he taking his hand off the plow is not fit for the kingdom of the Most High, right? It says, woe unto them that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore shall he not be defended, right? Hey, you faint-hearted and you believe not. That's madness, man. It says, this the point, woe unto you that have lost patience. It says, woe, destruction to people who lost patience. And most High willing, we not one of those brother that lose patience. Because it could time in a day of adversity when all hell break loose and you lose patience. To the time you're so close to your salvation, right, Lord willing, you lose patience. It says, woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? And this is what we got to think about. When we in a situation, we got spirits on us, right? Or we dealing with something in our marriage, the kids acting out, maybe brothers around you acting out. Are you gonna have patience? Because if not, you got to think about what if you come in front of the Lord and you got to explain this situation. Why you lose patience? And you knew that you needed to have patience because you was thinking about it. I was watching you. You gotta break that down. Because destruction come to you when you lose patience, man. That means that you're gonna get many stripes. You deny the Lord's coming just by you not having patience. All the works that you done just out the window, right? But you gotta.
Lucky, my mic was muted. But hey, look, it's funny that we talk about patience, man. I just had to be patient for a cool little minute or two, man. The whole stream just shut down on me, man. My phone was froze for a second. I couldn't hear the brother. I couldn't do what I wanted to do. But guess what I could have done though? I could have sat there. Here we go. Huffing and puffing. But I was patient. I'm like, man, I know the Lord gonna let me get back on this live, man. And guess what? I'm here. I came right back, bro. A lot of people probably didn't even notice like that. You probably riding in the car, all praises. You on the way to work. You on the way home from work. On your way to them babies, man. On your way to see your wife, man. You ain't seen her all day. Ready to give her a kiss and a hug like you supposed to. Because she doing what she supposed to. But, hey, guess what? It's going to take patience for you to get there. And all praise to the Most High, that situation just happened because it just put this on my mind, right? Like, even when we go and work our jobs, do you know how much patience that takes to know that you are the salt of the earth, but you got to go work for the heathen? How much patience do that take? To understand, hey, the Lord, I could potentially be one of the elect. I could be one of the 144,000. I got to go clock in McDonald's for these white people. It's going to take some, listen, take it from me. I don't know about this brother Shema Wall. I ain't going to speak for him. Take it from me. When I go to work and I got to look at inferior races telling me what I'm going to do for my day, telling me what time I get to clock out, I be having to be patient, man. To know that the Lord said that these people are nothing but spit and I got to serve them. I be feeling like Esdras. Esdras is asking the same thing. Lord, I thought you said they wasn't nothing but, let's get that. Let's get it, bro. I mean, come on now. Let's get it. This second Esdras, what is that, chapter 6? It's been a while since I grabbed this precept, but we're going to grab it, though. Come, chapter 6. It's second Esdras, chapter 6, and verse, we're going to start at 54. We're going to walk it down slow. Right? Follow me, y'all. Second Esdras, chapter 6, and verse 54. And after these, Adam also whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. So we all know everybody comes from Adam. That's obvious. That's what Esdras is saying. Let's keep going. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them. That means all the white people together, all of the Asians, all of the Africans, all of the Japhites, all of the Samoans, all of the everything combined together. He said the abundance of them is like what? And has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. He said all these races of people outside of the Israelites are like, let's say you getting a waterfall. That's what we call it over here. I don't know what y'all call it. When you don't you drinking somebody drink, but you don't want to touch the they cup, so you kind of just like drink it out the air, and we call it waterfall. He's saying that little piece of water that dripped down into your beard, that's all of the heathen combined. You know that little piece of water, good looking, and you just kind of wipe it off your face. That's the heathen. But let's get into why he's saying this. Let's keep going. It say, verse 57, 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, and verse 57. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, that's these other races, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. He like, Lord, hold on. You said they wasn't worth nothing but that little piece of water that dripped down my face when I was drinking out of my cup. Why is they above us then? How this heathen that's not worth spit? I mean, bruh, we talking about spit here. How valuable is your spit to you? You know what I'm saying? I know it sounds crazy, but just think about how valuable is your spit to you. That's how valuable their entire race, not just one of them, their entire race together is worth the spit that fly. Bro, if you talking too fast, you gonna spit. That's how much they are worth. But Esdras is like, why are they ruling over us? They not worth nothing. But you know what that takes to be able to go through that? It takes patience. Let me get a precept for y'all. Let's get Revelation chapter 14. Because I know a lot of you Christians, and we're going to go hard on you Christians this year. I ain't going to lie. Hey, all that Christianity, it got to stop, man. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going to be patient with Christianity. That's one thing we ain't going to have patience with. Let's go to Revelation chapter 14 and verse 12 and see what patience actually is. And I want a Christian to address this if you got a problem with it. Revelation chapter 14 and verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Because, you know, they all, I'm saved and sanctified, happy to be a saint. When you remember that song, when the saints come marching in, they used to sing that all the time at church, right? Oh, I love to be in, and you know, all that. Let's see what the saints are doing according to the Bible. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yahushua, or Jesus, like y'all like to call him. That's what the Bible calls patience. Hey, guess what? When the brother was bringing out that account about Jacob, did Jacob slay Laban? Oh, he on me. He finna get switched down. You know, Jake with they lingo. I'm finna blow him down. I don't know who you talking to. I worked for this dude for 20 years and he gonna play with me like that. Wait till he pull up. His whole car getting fanned down. He ain't commit murder. He didn't say, oh, you want to play with me? All right, bet. I'm leaving both your daughters. They can be on their own now, since you want to play with me. Did he do that? Or was he patient? How much patience is it going to take for you to explain to somebody who done known you for 20 years, who you done worked for 20 years, hey, you've been doing me wrong for 20 years. Without lashing, without putting hands on him, without threatening him, you just sitting there having that conversation with that man. He didn't chase you. He didn't went through all that. Jake, how you gonna feel? You know what I'm saying? Somebody come up to your car, they snatch you out the car and they search the whole thing. You just gotta sit there. You gonna be able to just sit there and have a conversation? Hey man, I told you I didn't take your stuff, bro. I told you. Or you gonna be sitting there like, hey, don't let me catch you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you went through my stuff, I'm gonna take your life. That's what Jake be on nowadays. We know what's going on, man. But it said, here is the patience of the saints, those that fear God and keep his commandments. You know how much patience it takes to be broke? You don't have a check coming for 2 weeks and you don't steal. You in you in Walmart. You kind of look left, then you look right, and you see that pack of food right there. You like, bro, I can get down on Walmart. They ain't even gonna know, man. How much patience would it take for you to have $2.50 in your account, but this item that you planning on stealing costs $5, and you like, you know what? I ain't gonna take it, man. The Lord gonna provide for me. That's real patience, man. We gotta really, bruh. Listen, I done been broke before. Oh my God. You be thinking about all the stuff you want. Man, if I had $15, I'll go eat right here. Oh my God, I'm craving that food. You damn for you gamers, because I know a lot of the Akim like to play 2K in the truth, right? Man, I'd have spent this VC on that, man. You know, y'all playing GTA, you trying to pass the heist, man. I should have just bought the cheat code, man. I might have to scam for the cheat code. Might have to use somebody else's credit card. It takes patience to not do that. Take patience, man. Patience. Let's get the fruits of the spirit right quick, and then you got it. Let's get Galatians chapter 5. And like we say on every video, and we gonna keep saying it, this is not just directed towards the people we are teaching. This is directed towards us also. I'm no better than you who's watching. I be having moments where I be having to check myself after, like, bro, you should have been way more patient. I just text the brothers in the group chat. I'm not gonna speak on the situation. But this past, what was that, Saturday, I had to text brothers like, hey, can brothers just pray for me that I can handle this situation better? Because I was just tripping a second ago because I wasn't patient. Let's get this in Galatians chapter 5. It's Galatians chapter 5 and verse, I believe I want 22, right? Verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering. Long suffering is the word that I came to Galatians 5 to get. Long suffering. Just look at the word long suffering. Suffering for a long time. How many people are like, it ain't about how much money I can get. It's not about how many women or how many men I can get. It's not about how many likes, clicks, subscribers I can get. I want to see, can I be more long suffering than anybody I know? How many people gonna take that challenge? They got all these damn TikTok challenges. They got the silhouette challenge. Hey, I remember the salt and ice challenge. That's a real throwback. That I was in middle school, and you remember that salt and ice challenge, boy? You literally got people putting salt on their arm, rubbing ice on it, and burning their skin open for a challenge. They not getting no money. They're not getting anything. But you got the damn crate challenge that came out not too long ago, back in the pandemic. Right? You got Jake, 50, 60 years old, falling 10 feet out of the air off these damn crates. They throwing their back out, throwing their hips out, all over a social media challenge. Right? They patient enough to wait for their bad hip to recover for 6 months. How much more patient should you be to bear the fruits of the Spirit, which is long suffering? Think about that. Right? You got Jake. Let's talk about patience like this. You got Jake in the street who won't clock 40 hours on the clock, but they'll risk 40 years in the pen, though. How much sense that make? How much sense do that? No, I can't work no job. I can't work no job for 8 hours of my life, but I can risk getting locked down for 23 hours and having 1 hour to go outside for however many years, 5, 10. So you will risk that. You risk 7 hours a week. Just think about that. You risk 7 hours a week of freedom to see sunlight because you don't want to work 40 hours to see a legal check. You got to make that make sense to me, man. So like we're going into, man, it's all about patience. How long can you suffer? That's what this verse is going into. It's Galatians 5, and 22 on down. One of the fruits of the Spirit that you Christians like to bring out, y'all love to talk about the fruits of the Spirit. How many Christians can be long-suffering? Hey, when we talk to y'all on the street, y'all can't even handle 3 verses without lashing out on us. Brother, I just want to bring out Deuteronomy 28:15, Deuteronomy 28:54, and Deuteronomy 28:68. You can't even let me finish my sentence. But you're trying to teach me about the fruits of the Spirit and patience? How does that work? So let's get one more precept, man. Then you got it out. Let's get one more precept, man. Let's get Proverbs chapter 16. I might want 25. I'm going to see which one I want. It's Proverbs chapter... Which one I'm feeling right now? I'm feeling 25. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 25, verse 28, right? It's the classic. He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. So a city that's broken down, right? Imagine if the police force in whatever city you in, whether it's St. Louis, Detroit, Milwaukee, Chicago, Baltimore, Virginia, well, it's not a city, but y'all get what I'm saying. Wherever you at, imagine if the police force just broke down. The detectives don't want to hear what the officers got to say. The officers don't want to hear the detectives. The detectives and the officers not trying to hear what the sergeant got to say. You know, the sergeant told them, hey, let that person go. We got a murder over here for you to go investigate. And they're like, no, I'm going to give him this ticket for speeding. You feel what I'm saying? What would happen if all of that broke down? That's what it's saying. A man who has no rule over his spirit is like the city that is broken down. A man who don't have no patience, guess what? Your woman can say anything to you and you're going to react to it because you don't have no patience. You understand what she's saying ain't worth nothing, but guess what you're going to do? Oh, she thinks you're going to, you know, Jake start pumping up their chest. Hey, they start pumping up their chest like old dude from last Saturday, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't speak on it, but I know what I'm talking about. They start feeling themselves, man. Oh, she ain't gonna play with, hey, with your kids. Your son's 6 months old. You know, you told him don't take the pacifier out. He took it out anyway. Now you done slapped on your 6-month-old son, man. Because you don't have no patience. And yeah, we crack jokes and we say little stuff to keep it light, but y'all got to really understand how important patience is. I'm being patient right now. I got to sit my phone up and charge it, and my phone is crooked. I don't like it. But guess what I got to do? I got to be patient. Hey, the job I work, I'm fully of the belief that I can do a lot better, that I could be making more money doing something that's more suited towards me. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to be patient for the Lord to give me whatever he got to give me. Because it's about patience. We're going to say that word 1,000,000 times for this video is over. It's about being patient. How long can you wait for what you want and deal with what you... How long can you only get what you need until you're able to get what you want? How long can you do that? How long can you just deal with the Lord giving you your food, letting you pay your rent, letting you pay your phone bill, letting you take your wife maybe on a little Applebee's date once a month? How long can you deal with that before the Lord increase you like he... Salakia, I got one more precept, and I got you out. Salakia, right? It's Genesis chapter 26. Let me show a real example of patience right here, man. I mean, come on now, we can go all day. It's Genesis 26 and verse 12, right? I'm gonna start at verse 1 so we can get the context, and I'm gonna jump down to verse 12. It's Genesis 26 and verse 1. And there was a famine in the land. So off rip, it ain't no food. This is not 2025. They didn't have no damn Walmart, Walgreens, damn Meijer and Costco. It wasn't none of that back then. If you ain't grow your food or you couldn't kill it, hey, guess what? You're gonna starve, bro. It is what it is. Let's keep reading. And there was a famine in the land beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Lord appeared unto him and said, go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee, for unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. Right? And then it just keeps going. Imagine ain't no food in your town, and the Lord appear to you, say, not only stay here, but I'm going to make you prosper here. Just imagine you thinking like, hold on, Lord. They don't even have enough food for the next 3 months. You telling me I'm going to prosper forever here? You going to give me all of this? You got to really, really put yourself in this mind state that they probably was in. Because these are men, just like us. Imagine it's a famine. There's no food. Imagine you go to Walmart. It's people in there shooting at each other. That all the shelves tore down. People running out with carts full of stuff. And the Lord tell you, hey, I'm not only going to build this Walmart back up, but you going to run it. It's going to be the most popular, the most prosperous Walmart in America. What you going to say? Let's keep going right now. You got Genesis 26, and I'm going to jump down to the point. Let's see how Isaac decided to move after the Lord told him this, right? It's Genesis 26 and verse 12. It says, then Isaac sowed in that land, that same land that didn't have no food. You got to understand, when ain't no food, people panicking. People ain't paying their bills. The bank's going bankrupt. We just think about it in modern day terms. People robbing each other. People resorting to cannibalism. You can read about that in the Bible. That happens. People get so hungry, they start eating their own kids, man. Literally. It says, then Isaac sowed in that land and received in the same year. Imagine if you went broke in March and the Lord had you up $1 million by next March. All because you were patient enough to sow in the land that he told you. So ask yourself this. Can you sow in that barren land that the Lord told you to sow in? Are you patient enough to do that? You got it out.
Yeah, are we even patient enough to do that? Like that's a mighty point the brother brought out, because yeah, it wasn't no Walmarts and Target and fish markets, and it wasn't none of that. So when it's a famine, it's a famine. It's desolate. And that was the spirit, because I was really reading that yesterday. Right. So it's like, yeah, it's nothing. And the Lord had him to prosper. He digged another well. He digged another well. How much? Hey, Jake could get tired. Jake could just be like, you know what? No, I ain't doing this no more. He'll just throw in the towel. But Isaac, he kept being diligent, right, and showing his faith by his works. And he had patience, and look what happened. The Lord exalted him, right? And they couldn't do nothing but look. They came up to him. When you read on to that, they said, look, man, we ain't coming no harm. Look, we want to make a covenant with thee, make an oath. Don't do nothing to us. We won't do nothing to you. We see that the Lord is with you. Because they tried to begin on dirt with him because he was prospering. Right? That's madness. We're going to get another account of Susanna. Because like we say, the only way you can get patience is through the situations you be in. Right? And brothers know about Susanna. This is one of my favorite books, actually. Right? To you brothers that lust a lot. You kill that lust spirit, man. Right? So we can go to verse, right? History of Susanna verse. We can start at, let me see. It's fire, man. Right. So we ain't gonna go too long. We just gonna go at verse 41. It says, then the assembly believed them as those that were the elders and judges of the people. So they condemned her to death. Right. So now Susanna is about to get put to death by the elders that was really the cause of the whole situation, because they was lusting after her. They wanted to rape her, really wanted to do a nasty little get together, put it that way. And she didn't want to do it. Right. So for them to be the elders, as an elder, you got high honor in the congregation. They were the judges. So whatever they say, they like, oh yeah, they listening. And for them to do that, which is very wicked, right? So they was gonna put her to death. Let's see how Susanna act. And being in this situation, Jake be having gun cases. He be having a murder charge that he didn't do, rape charge that he didn't do. It's brothers out here that just got out of jail for a rape case that they didn't do, and then they give him money. His whole life is gone. This man was a first round a draft pick for the damn Rams or whatever. He was a wide receiver. Now he 50. His whole life gone, and y'all want to get him 2 mil because a white woman said that she raped him. You knew there was no evidence. Now all of a sudden you want to go back into the case and see that, oh, well, yeah, he didn't do it. Give him $200 million. That's madness. $200 million, that's not going to make nothing better. You know, through the spirit, yeah, carnally, he may bow these things, but his life is gone. You know, he has no kids. You know, he can still be able to get kids at 50, but that's up to the Lord. But his life is gone, man. So brothers got to have patience, like Susanna. And let's see the characteristics Susanna had while she was going through this, right? The spirit that she possessed. Verse 42, it says, then Susanna cried out, Salaka. Then Susanna cried out with a loud voice and said, O everlasting God, thou knowest the secrets and knowest all things before they be. Thou knowest that they have borne false witnesses against me, and behold, I must die. Whereas I never did such things as these men have maliciously invented against me. And the Lord heard her voice. How many brothers would cry out to the Lord when they're in their patience? How many brothers would do that? How many sisters would do that? You would cry to the Lord. Like Jake will be going through car troubles. He in the middle of the road. He lost signal, right? He have no signal on his phone. Would you cry to the Lord? Or would you just say, you know what? Have a temper tantrum. Now you're outside with your thumbs up. You look like a fool now. Now you look foolish. When you could have just cried to the Lord. The Lord already knew the situation you in. He know all things. You get robbed. You know the brother that robbed you. You can't get in contact with him. Are you going to pray to the Lord? Right? Are you going to pray to the Lord? He knows all things. You know, somebody falsely accusing you. Now you got now you in the lion's den. Everybody's against you. Yeah, hey, everybody was against you. How much patience he had, man? You know, everybody was against Yahushua, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, man. Everybody was against him. How much patience did he have? Right? And Susanna cried unto the Lord, and it said, and the Lord heard her voice. Right? Read on, it says, therefore, when she was led to be put to death, the Lord raised up the Holy Spirit of a young youth whose name was Daniel. And when you have patience, you know, when you're in the midst of temptation, you know, affliction, you have patience for the Lord's mercy, for him to overturn that wickedness into righteousness. Hey, man, the Lord will raise whatever. Your car was broken down. You had no signal. Next thing you know, you get 2 bars on your phone. There's no wires, no satellites or nothing. For some reason, you get 2 bars on your phone and you're able to call the, hey, I'm so-and-so. You know, my car broke down or what it is. Maybe I need a jump. I don't know what it is. Call a brother. Next thing you know, he come get you. You know, y'all see what the problem was wrong with the car. It was just something minor. Next thing you know, you back on the road, right? Or damn, you know, nobody believed you in the lion's den. They set a judgment on you. Now you damn can't go to camp for 7 months. You know, then they end up finding out that, oh man, you didn't do these type of things. You know, it was all a lie, or you know, it was a fake page and so and so. You know, are you gonna have patience? And Jake like to do things just because he's in the right, which is off. Just because you're in the right doesn't mean that it's right for you to act a certain way. You know, the Lord will get up with you for that, right? But hey, the Lord end up raising up a young youth, right? Put the Holy Spirit in Daniel, man. All praise to the Most High. Right, let's get another precept through the Spirit, right? Let's get James chapter 5. All right. James chapter 5. James chapter 5 and verse 11. I'm going to start at verse 10. Right. It says, take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Right. So the prophets, right? Elijah, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Hosea, all the mighty prophets, King David, hey, they suffered affliction. Paul suffered affliction, right? And of patience. They had patience when they suffered affliction. They had patience when they was in tribulation. These things is written for our learning to brothers that lack patience, that lack long suffering. Verse 11, it says, behold, we count them happy which endure. It said we count them happy which endure. Because those that endure, we count them happy. Abraham died in his faith. How much patience is that? All the things that the Lord told him, it happened. But him seeing the promised land, he died in his faith. Can you die in your faith? Right? You may not see Yahweh shall crack the sky. You may die before that. Are you going to die in your faith? Abraham did that, right? It says, but we count them happy which endure. So you got to endure. The order to have patience, you have to endure. We explained this on the last video. We're going to explain this. How long does the Lord have us in his truth? It says, ye have heard of the patience of Job. And I'm pretty sure everybody in the truth, no matter what congregation, bring up Job all the time. When you bring up patience, affliction, because Job dealt with affliction back to back. All hell broke loose. His wife turned against him. His friends turned against him. Right. All hell broke loose. His kids died. His house was gone. His flesh was just, what can I say? Well, his flesh was broken. Put it that way. His flesh was broken, man. He literally had nothing. He was sit in the dust. And look at the patience Job had. It says, and have seen the end of the Lord. And we seen the end of the Lord. So for you to not have patience and you to read these accounts and not take heed and not count them as happy, because we seen a latter end. We seen the faith that they had. We seen the spirit they possessed. We seen them cry out to the Lord. We seen them pour everything out unto the Lord, right? It says that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. The Lord is not going to be merciful to the man who's not patient, who's not long suffering, who's not going to put flesh as his arm. Because people who not patient, they're going to end up trusting in man. They're going to start thinking of weird things to try to cut corners. You can't cut corners in this truth. It's either you go through it or not. It's either you stay in the kitchen or you just get out. One of the two. There's no way you can cut corners in this truth. And you can't lie and say you never did. We all have, even if you subconsciously know it or not. We all have tried to cut corners. We all have tried to fix things, lean on your own understanding. You don't want to lean on your own understanding while the Lord is trying to have you build you up to possess patience. Because once you lean on your own understanding, there's going to be more destruction for you. Now you're just going to be at the turmoil and depression and sadness because you're not waiting on the Lord. You're not dependent on the Lord. I got another precept. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 7. Because when you're in your patience, like Susanna, you have to put all your care upon the Lord. If you don't do that, you will lose patience. You can't, these fleshly bodies can't obtain everything. These fleshly bodies can't hold what the Lord will possess for you. Only the Spirit can. Your flesh wants to hold nothing but all vanity and madness, anger, and that's what your flesh want to hold. Lust and the desires of this world, the pride of this life. That's what it want to hold, right? So you man, this 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7, it says, casting all your care upon him, for he cared for you. So all the things that you deal with, all the things that you worry about has to go to the Lord. You have to put that upon the Lord. So you be able to obtain that patience. Because when you attain patience, you know, like, oh man, okay, cool. All praise to the Most High. I'm gonna get it to. I'm gonna get this to the Lord. Whatever how the Lord deals with it, that's what it's gonna be, right? And that may be hard to do for some brothers, but you got to get out that spirit. That may be hard for some sisters. You know, your husband being slothful. You know, for some reason he just going off on the Shabbat. He ain't trying to keep the Shabbat. And how much patience you gonna have? You know, yeah, the Lord is not automatically just gonna listen to your prayer. He's not gonna automatically just come when you want him to come. He's gonna sit and see how long you're going to wait for him. How long you gonna sit here and deal with this? How long you gonna stay in the spirit? Like I say, these things are appointed for us. And the only reason how we know how to speak these things because the Lord put us in those phases and we able to, you know, proclaim these things. Because I mean, yeah, you may have a brother that got a lot of wisdom, and you know that wisdom, you know, can obtain to that experience. But once you really in it, it hits different. It hits so different, right? It says, "Casting all your care upon Him, for He cared for you," right? Because the Lord cared for us, man. And if He didn't, He wouldn't put you in these situations for you to even give to Him, because He doesn't have to do that, right? So let me get one more precept. This First Peter chapter 4, verse 1, right? It says, "For as much then as a Mashiach has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourself likewise with the same mind." So we got to arm ourselves likewise as our forefathers, as a Mashiach, right? We got to arm ourselves as Yahweh Bashem Yahushua to have the same mind as him. Because if you don't have the same mind as him, you have the same mind as a carnal man. Yahushua is not carnal. Paul wasn't carnal, right? Jacob wasn't carnal. Abraham wasn't carnal. Isaac wasn't carnal. David wasn't carnal, as once upon a time. You know, David ended up being in the flesh, but he wasn't carnal, man. Because a carnal man will literally not have patience. A carnal man will lean on his emotions like a woman, right? There's women in the Bible that didn't lean on their emotions, right? So you don't want to have, you do not want to have the mind of our mighty forefathers and our foremothers, because you will end up getting sifted out because of you not having patience, right? It says, "For he that have suffered in the flesh have seeds from sin, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of Yahweh." And if we abide in Hamashiach, we shall we shall no longer live the rest of this time in the flesh, just like how he have. We will obtain that glory just how he obtained it. But we only can get that through patience. That's the only way. Endure, right? But you gotta
Hey, I mean, the brother bringing out so mighty right now, man. I just really hope the people is listening, right? Because it even take patience to sit here for what, 58 minutes and 20 seconds to get the word. Man, how many people nowadays? We got TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You got all these different short form content platforms that's destroying our attention spans. But you got certain people, the Lord is going to gift them with the patience to be able to sit through an hour-long video about the truth. You know what I'm saying? We not talking about Cardi being Offset. We not talking about the Megan Thee Stallion shooting. You feel what I'm saying? We not talking about Sierra and Future. We not talking about the baddies. I know a lot of y'all like to watch that. We not talking about that. How many people can have the patience to sit here and listen to the actual truth? Like I said earlier, something that's better than money. Let me get that. All right, let me get that. I didn't even plan on getting it, but we're gonna get it. This is Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. If you at your school, who is above the principal? Nobody, right? The principal is the head honcho. He is the boss. He or she, because it's female principals too, they are the boss. There's nobody above. I mean, you got the superintendent of the school, you got the board of directors. When in that building, that principal is the man. That principal is that woman. right? Proverbs 4:7 says, wisdom is the principal thing. Wisdom is above everything. Guess what? If you got $5 in your pocket right now and you got to wait another 7-8 days for your check, guess what? If the Lord gave you wisdom, if you watching this, the Lord gave you something. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you're watching this video, the Lord gave you some type of wisdom. You should rejoice in that more than, I don't care if they gave you $1 million tomorrow. Because guess what? They can take your money from you. They can take your clothes. They can take your car. They can take your job. But unless they take your life from you, they can never take the wisdom that you got. And we got to remember that. You know, they say in the world what they say, knowledge is power. They say that all the time. What makes it powerful is that once you have it, it can't be taken from you. Right? I mean, let's get this precept. Hey, the Lord taking me all kind of places, but we gonna rock with it, right? This is John chapter 8. Let's get the classic, man. It's John chapter 8 and verse 32. And ye shall know the truth. Now, the word shall, let's talk about that word. Shall is not maybe. Shall is not if I feel like it. Shall is not, I was gonna kind of send her that. You know how they got the risky text in the world, right? I was gonna send her that risky text, but no, the truth ain't no risky text that the Lord is just, no, the truth out there. Let me tell you, me and this brother right here, we outside with it, man, and we ain't the only two in America. You can go to St. Louis, them brothers outside. LA, them brothers outside. Chicago, them brothers outside. Milwaukee, Detroit, Baltimore, Miami. We got brothers in Japan getting outside, putting this truth out. So like Yahushua said, like Jesus said, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Not only are you going to know it, whether you like it or not, but it's going to make you free, whether you like it or not. Because guess what? Once we tell you that Jesus was really black and we read it out of the Bible, I don't care how much you fight it. You know it's going to be in the back of your head that Jesus was black. And it is what it is. You got to deal with it. When we break down John 3:16 the way it's supposed to be broken down, and you understand, okay, well, it's just like me and this brother Shema Wall was having a conversation about our people. Let's say we talk, man, these Judites, man, they be tripping. How in the world does that have anything to do with Asian people? We two Judites talking about Jews. You feel what I'm saying? So, hey, we have to display patience in all of these ways. Hey, when y'all watch them camp videos, y'all see brothers out there bringing the word up. Y'all see people out there putting their life on. Hey, let's talk about this, man. When it comes to this work and being patient, when it comes to pushing the truth, you don't get a check in the mail for that. I ain't never got no ACH direct deposit that said sent from the Lord $5,000 for going to camp this week. Yeah, I know they threatened you. The police pulled on you. They was about to take you to jail for preaching this truth. Here goes $5,000. When is that? I want a brother to tell me right now who's supposed to be in the truth when you ever got a check for that. It's not going to happen. Our check comes later with the kingdom of heaven. Right? Why would I want a check that's supposed to come every week when the Lord got a check for me in the kingdom of heaven that's going to come every single second? Here it is, Jake. You waiting on your $800 check. Oh, man. It's going to get paid. It's payday. You know how people get acting on payday, man. Hey, you ain't never seen that brother walk in the door at work like that. And all of a sudden it's payday. You know what I'm saying? He got a little bounce in his walk, man. He's saying hi to everybody, good morning. He done bought donuts for the whole damn office. He feeling good today because his paycheck. How much better would you feel to know that you have a paycheck that you're going to be paid forever? You got a paycheck they can't take taxes out of. You got a paycheck they can't say, hey, we're going to garnish your wages. We weren't supposed to send you that much on your last check. We got to take $200 off this check. And you just got to deal with it. Yeah, I know. We the IRS. I know we wasn't even supposed to take that $1,500 out your check this year, but hey, I know you was waiting on that refund. We kind of got to keep that for our own personal reasons. And you got to be patient through that, man. You know, you got to be patient. All day, all video, we've been talking about being patient. We can bring out a million situations. If you got a case pending right now, you got to wait and sit there and allow them people to decide what they're going to do with your freedom. And you got to be patient. Hey, you ain't the only one to go to jail. Joseph went to jail. Paul went to jail. Hey, Christ was on death row. Here it is, Jay. You know, you got Boosies and all these rappers. I was on death row, or I was facing 40 years. Hey, Christ was literally on death row. Think about that. Our Lord and Savior was on death row. They gave him the equivalent of the electric chair, and he had to sit there and be patient through that. So we got to really remember these things, man. We can't forget that. Let's get some precepts, right? I'm gonna finish up my precepts, and then you got it. I'm just kind of letting the spirit flow how it flow right now, for real. Right? It's Psalm chapter 37 and verse 7. Listen, if you want to speak on anybody about patience or about just having those intangibles, patience, long suffering, faith, read about David, man. Please get into that, man. Because I be reading about David, I be like, look, he better than me, because I would have took it a whole nother way. Right? But let's get this. It's Psalm chapter 37 and verse 7. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospers in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Here it is, Jake. You working at McDonald's. Hey, I remember I was working at McDonald's. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Let the Lord strike me down if I'm lying. I was working at McDonald's back in 2017, 2018. It was my first job. It was a Jake in there. He started working. He was there for like a week. He said, this is what he said. I'm paraphrasing. He said, man, I'm sitting here working for this little money. I could go out in the street and get that. That's what he said. Listen, the Lord is my witness. That's what this man said. I could get this off the street. It was another Jake I worked with who was actually in the street. And about a year or two after I stopped working there, I read about him getting killed on the news, man. I have a picture of this man in my phone. This is my guy. I was his little homie at the job. He giving me nah, little bro, you got to do it like this. Oh, y'all see my look? He took me under his wing, got killed less than 2 years after. If I'm remembering correct, because this was back in 2017, it's almost 8 years ago. I'm going to read this again so y'all can really get it. This is Psalms chapter 37, verse 7. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. And it's about to tell you why you should wait patiently for the Lord. Fret not thyself because of him who prospers in his way. Don't fret yourself because that drug dealer that you listen to who be rapping is showing 20,000 every picture. And you can't even come up with $20 every week. Don't look at that man like, hey, I might have to get out here and get the, getting in, I might have to hustle. Hey, Eve, you see this woman, you used to sit next to her in that math class in high school. She's stripping, she making $1,500 a night. She should all 1,500 in ones. Imagine that you had 1,500 in ones. I'm talking about she getting it. David say, hey, fret not thyself because of him who is prosperous in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. I don't give a damn if Bad Baby, what's her name? Bad Baby, Bad Barbie, whatever her damn name is. I don't care if she made 50 million on OnlyFans. And guess what? That heathen is going to get put up top when Yahushua come back. And that 50 million ain't going to save her. Let's get another precept because y'all don't believe me. Let's go to Sirach, chapter 9. Because they think it's a game. Sirach chapter 9 and verse number 11, man. Sirach 9 and 11. Envy not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end. You looking at all these celebrities, like I said, the drug dealers, the strippers. Hey, some people don't even look up to people like that. You looking up to your family members who don't have an ounce of God in them, and you trying to follow after their way. It says, envy not the glory of a sinner. I don't care about your pimping uncle who been having 304s for 20 years. The Lord is going to smoke that man if he don't get his life right. Thus saith the Lord, not me. Repent or die. That's what it comes down to. I don't give a damn if this man made 100 million flipping bricks. If he don't get his life right, he gonna die. And he ain't gonna spend $1 out of that 100 million. The feds is on their way right. Let's talk about it. A couple years ago, it's this. I'm not gonna speak on them because that ain't the point. It's a group in Milwaukee. They was known. Anybody from Milwaukee, if they listening to this, they'll know who I'm talking about. They up there on the high numbers. They getting it in. They selling this PPP loan, that. You remember the PPP loans up? Man, the scam-demic, oh my God. You had the brokest of the broke coming up with 25,000, 15,000 off these scams. Hey, Joe Biden put that task force together. I can't remember who that celebrity was. He was on one of them TV shows, man. They gave that man 18 years for that PPP loan. You got $1 million, but you got to serve 18 years of your life in a box. Why would you envy that? Name what one of y'all that's on this video. I want y'all to tell me, yeah, I'll take $1 million. Just give me 18 years in prison, in federal prison. And then give me my, who wants that? Wasn't the brother just going into that? Brothers get locked up wrongfully. They get out 50, 55, they give them 2 million. That ain't gonna get that brother the last 32 years of his life back. Let's finish this off, right? It's Sirach chapter 9 and verse 11. I'm gonna keep reading. Envy not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end. You have no clue what the Most High got waiting for that person. Let's imagine you was envying Absalom, and you didn't even know that the Lord was finna get him caught up by his hair in the tree and get him smoked. You didn't know that. You was just you didn't know that Korah was finna get swallowed up by the earth. In the book of Exodus. You didn't know that. You was just following after Korah. You think Judas knew what was going to happen to him? You think he understood what his latter end would be when he was doing what he was doing? We talking about one of the apostles. He wasn't a stupid person. He wasn't somebody who didn't have no wisdom. He wasn't an idiot. He wasn't slow. He was one of the 12. There's only 12 people on the planet that got to say, I was one of the, well, it was more, but brothers get what I'm saying. It came down to 12 people. And Judas is one of those ones. And look what happened to him. Imagine if you was envying, man, Judas be having gold and silver, man. He be having them chains. Whole time, you don't even know he was stealing it the whole time. But you envying that man. Man, Judas be coming through drippy, man. Let's get that in James. Right. Salakia, I'm going to pass it right back to you. Let's get the book of James, chapter 2. It's James chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse 1. My brethren, have not the faith of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, the Lord of glory, with respect of persons. This is a big thing. And, you know, and this actually ties into patience, believe it or not. Because not having respect of persons means that you might have to rebuke somebody who can make your life real hard for rebuking them. And you're going to have to be patient through it. When that prophet came to David, giving him that parable about what David did when he committed that adultery, he had to understand that David could make his life very hard because David was the king. But he still checked him. When John the Baptist went to that king and told him, it's not right for you to have your brother's wife, what happened to him? Did the king just say, oh, you're right. You're right. Oh, what was I thinking? Is that what happened? Or did he get his head chopped off? It takes patience to understand this could happen to me because I'm doing what's right. Let's keep reading. James chapter 2 and verse 2. For if there come unto your assembly a man with a gold ring and goodly apparel, and there come in also a poor man in vile raiment. Vile raiment, because we don't talk like that, it's old English. Vile raiment It mean he dressed like a bum. Let's just put it out there. Brother come in, he got mismatched shoes on. Hey, we just seen a homeless heathen the other day. Woman had one Croc on one foot. She had an Ugg boot on the other foot. The whole side of the Ugg boot is out. Her whole toes is showing. She got a winter hat on with like 3 jackets and some jogging pants. That's vile raiment. It's what Jake would call looking like a bum nowadays. It's the Bible says, verse 3, and ye have respect to him that weareth the gay clothing, and gay clothing is like drip. Well, that's what we call drip, designer, all that. That's gay clothing back then. And you have respect to him that have gay clothing, and say unto him, sit thou here in a good place, and say to the poor, stand thou there, or sit here under my footstool. Are ye not then partial in yourselves, and are become judges of evil thoughts? It said, if you put that man on just because he look like he really doing something versus that person who don't look like they doing nothing, if you treat them differently, you going off. You know how much patience it takes to deal with somebody who your entire time in the world, you're trained to look at this person as less than you? Let's just talk. We supposed to be black people, right? How do we look at people who wear Skechers? How do we look at people who wear, who shop at Payless? No, we're not gonna cap. This the raw truth on this channel, bro. Let's talk about it. How do we treat people that used to wear FUBU? You feel what I'm saying? But the Bible says, hey, if you treat that person different than that man with that Burberry belt on, different than that man with that Rude shirt on, with that D squared, that Supreme on, you going off. So you got to fix our mind. Patience comes from fixing your mind. I'm going to just say that. You got to fix your mind to be able to be patient. Think about it. We live in America in 2025. What in the hell do they make us wait for nowadays? Porn is available for you. You want to get your rocks off? I got a site for you. You want to get some food? I got a dasher who will bring your food to you. You want to watch a movie? Click one button. Pay me $3.99. I'll let you watch this movie. Bruh, they'll deliver a damn car to your house. You ever heard of Carvana? They'll deliver you a Hellcat. You ain't even got to go to the lot. Go on Carvana, type in there, Dodge, Charger, Hellcat, type in a year, color, make, all that. And they will deliver it to your house. They don't make us be patient for anything nowadays. Nothing. We're not taught to be patient. We're not taught that it's important. You got Eve. Hey, I be saying Eves, man, they got it in their bio on their social media. Don't DM me unless you're going to pay a bill. Oh, DMs for paying customers only. Jake, you can't even say good morning to a woman no more without her asking you for something. She's not even patient enough to wait. Hey, then it used to be, 3 dates? They used to say the 90-day rule. Hey, Eve will give it up to you 30 minutes after you just met her, man. No patience. Don't let you have some Cartiers on. Oh, my God. For y'all who don't know what Cartiers is, Cartier glasses, you know what I'm saying? It's something. It's like designer. It's like having a Louis V belt back in 2010. They're going. 30 minutes. You just met this woman. You walked up to this woman 5 minutes ago. She trying to lead a club with you. No patience. Here it is. You've been married to this woman 10 years. She go out on a girls' night one time, and it took him 15 minutes to get what it took you 20 years to get. Because she has no patience. Here it is, your wife at home. She been sitting at home taking care of this newborn baby a year straight. You come home, look, hey, she left a little bit of piece of a paper towel next to the garbage that didn't make it in the garbage. Now you beating up your wife, man. Because you have no patience. Let me get this last precept. And this is my last precept, and you got it up. Let's go to Sirach one more time. At some point, y'all got to learn that y'all got to get into Sirach, bro. It's too much game in here, man. It's too much. Way too much of Sirach. I mean, it's a hard book right here, man. Let's get the classic. Sirach chapter 2 and verse number 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure. You know what it takes to endure? Anybody who's ever, for brothers who used to play sports back in high school, middle school, whatever. I don't know if y'all remember. You remember we used to have to do them planks where you had to, it's almost like a push-up position, but it's an ab workout though. Like you on your knees and you on your toes and like a push-up position, and you gotta hold yourself up in the air for a minute, 2 minutes, whatever. Brothers who used to run them hills. I know a lot of football players what I'm talking about. Your coach had you running up and down them hills. Basketball players, you running them suicides, free throw line back. 3-point line back. Hey, that takes endurance. That's gonna show you what you really made of, man. You got to run that mile for your gym class. I don't know if brothers had to do that, where you was at Shema Wall, but in high school, they made us run a mile. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have some endurance for that, man. Let me tell you, running a mile, you would think you're real in shape till you got to run a mile, bro. But it takes endurance. Let's read this again. Cleave unto Slaki. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure. Not only do you have to be willing to endure, you have to be willing to endure all the time. Jake, you might be dealing with a loss. I'm broke. I've been broke for 5 days. Can you be broke for 5 months straight? That's constantly enduring. Let's say you got a wife and a kid and you've been broke for 5 months. You ain't had a job in 12 weeks. You ain't got a paycheck in 2.5 months. You don't even remember what it's like to have a paycheck hit your account every week. That's constantly enduring. Let me finish this out, and I'm going to pass it back to the mighty brother Shema Wall, right? It says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and this is the point, and make not haste in time of trouble. That was my whole point of going to Sirach chapter 2 and verse 2 was that last line. Make not haste in thy time of trouble. We got brothers in the truth. Obviously, we're not going to drop no names. I know a brother, he caught a case. He caught a gun case. In the truth. In a city where they do not play about guns. Where they giving you 4-5 years just for having it. Not shooting it. Not for it not being... They just for having it on you. They trying to throw you 4-5 years in a pen, in a clink. I know a brother who went through that. He was patient. He's still in the truth now to this day. I can call that brother right now. Because that brother is patient. I know brothers who's in the truth 2-3 years. No wife. They by themselves, single, dealing with all this stuff. We know that it say in the book of Sirach, a man without no wife can go up and down mourning. A man without no woman, he by himself. I know brothers who done went through that and they stuck through it. I know brothers who ain't had a car in years. The Lord ain't blessed them with a car yet. They still taking care of their family. They still going to work. They still going to camp. They still showing up to the feast days. They still showing up in a group chat every day. Shalom, how y'all feeling today? Brothers need prayer. Brothers need this. Brothers need that. And that brother's going through it. I know him personally. Me personally, I don't think I could have that amount of patience that man got dealing with. The Lord would have had to take me out the truth. Let me tell it. If I had to have that kind of patience. So, are you able to not make haste in your time of trouble? When the police get behind you, when whatever circumstance come upon you, because we men and women of the Lord, we know what go down in America, man. When that happened to you, can you not make haste in trouble? Like the brother brought out in the history of Susanna. If you have not read the history of Susanna, get one of these and read the history of Susanna. This woman was literally in a situation where she had to be SA'd, we're going to say it like that, or put to death. Imagine if you put in that situation. You're going to let me take it from you or I'm going to kill you. And you got to still be patient and wait on the Lord. How many people can do that? Daniel was thrown in the lion's den. Hey, Jake, you see a spider on the wall and you losing your mind. Let you see a loose pit on the block. let alone a lion. You see a loose pig flying down the block towards you. Jake jumping on all type of cars and, you know, every man for himself at that point. The three holy children getting thrown into a furnace. How many, Jake, imagine if me and this brother Shemawa right now, somebody snatched us up and it was like, oh, y'all believe in God, right? Let's see if he can save you out of this oven I'm finna throw y'all in. And he tie our hands and our feet and he carry us towards the oven. And we just sitting there being patient, waiting on the Lord. We sitting there, hey, I don't know, do what you got to do, bro. I believe in the Most High. You know how much patience that takes? And we can speak on this because these are accounts in the Bible. We're not making this up. So remember, patience will never feel good. Let's just say that. Have you ever been patient? You was like, wow, this is so fun. Oh, God, I'm being patient right now. It don't work like patience feels like your lunch break ain't for another 2 hours. You ain't ate all day. And your boss getting on your nerves and you got to wait. Patience it's the Sabbath. Your woman looking good. Baby, I can't touch you till the sun go down. I got to go to camp today. And she knows she look good today. But you patient. Patience is, hey, you know, I got to go on this 30-day no spend. I've been tricking my money off, man. I got to get my money together for 30 days. I'm not eating no outside food. Ain't no Chick-fil-A, ain't no Raising Cane's. What else they like to eat? You like to eat, what Jake like to eat?
Harold's,
Baba.
Baba.
The damn Harold's chicken for you Chicago brothers.
I think it was S2.
You know, I mean, we got millions of different types of restaurants. Hey, you can't even go a day without a damn burger, man. Without a damn slice of pizza. No patience. We have to work on our patience. And like we say all the time, it's not just y'all. It's not like we just so much better than anybody watching this. I have to work on my patience too. And I'm man enough to admit that. It be times I be catching myself, bro, you was tripping. You did not have to. Come on now. You ain't have to do all that. I'm gonna get this last precept and you got it out. It's 2 Corinthians. I believe it's 2 Corinthians. Or 1 Corinthians. Chapter 10 and verse 13. That's what I'm looking for. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 13. Right. It says, there have no temptation taken you but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape that you may be able to bear it. So I leave y'all personally with saying this. The Most High will never put you in a situation to test your patience that you're not capable of passing with flying colors. That's not the God we serve. If you're in a situation where you have to be patient, the Most High can and he will provide an escape for you. Otherwise, the scriptures is just lying to you that I just read to you. You got it out.
Salakia. I got one more precept, then I gotta do the second time. Right, this Exodus chapter 34. Salakia, my dang. Exodus chapter 34 and verse 6. It says, the Lord passed by before him and proclaimed, the Lord God, merciful and gracious, long suffering and abundant in goodness and truth. Right. So the Lord, he has controls over his emotions. He's long suffering towards his people. So why you can't be long suffering, whatever situation the Lord put you in, just so you can be able to present something before him, just so you be able to give something to him, right? Just so you could need to be long suffering towards your people as Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is merciful to you, long suffering to you, patient towards you. You've been going off for 3 years straight, hands bloody, and the Lord is being long suffering and patient with you, right? But hey, that's all I got. Most High willing, man, women, and children that's in this truth continue to have patience, and if not, work for it, pray for it, and cry unto the Lord when you're in temptation, affliction, whatever manner of wickedness that you in, you have patience like our mighty forefathers and our foremothers, right? All praise to the Most High.
Hey, with that, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Right, Lord willing, everybody have a beautiful rest of y'all Wednesday, and y'all was edified by this message on being patient. We have to learn how to be patient. And like the brothers say, if you ain't got it, pray for it, ask for it, beg for it, whatever you got to do. With that, shalom.
Shalom.